Most of the time when you're with someone and they begin withholding sex and affection, it has to do with a form of abuse. It's manipulative, it's controlling, it can feel like a form of punishment. However, withholding sex and affection for a partner is not only emotionally immature, but it's also a regressive, passive-aggressive form of anger that you probably learned from childhood. And it can be a form of working out an unresolved sexual issue, especially in men. If men are perpetrated as small children, there are less resources for men to get help, and many times they'll carry it as a secret up into their adulthood. And then when they get with a partner, if they really love that partner and they feel like they can be vulnerable, you will begin seeing this pattern of withholding sex and affection when they are upset. And so I'm adding this caveat because most of the time, those closest to you will tell you your partner is abusive, they're gaslighting you, they're narcissists, they're controlling you, and those things many times are true. But only if you are able to kind of get into a situation where you're able to talk about it, will you be able to know if there's something deeper underneath. In an abusive relationship, I would guide you and counsel you to get out, to stop dating them. Whatever situation you're in with them, I would say this person has problems, you need a therapist, and you need to leave the relationship. However, when it's deeper and there's an unresolved past where your partner as a child was perpetrated, that's important to know, because then in that case, therapy could help you guys mend this. So I'm going to run through some general ideas that I think are true if you're with someone who withholds sex and affection as what feels like a form of punishment or upsetness with you. When I go through this, I want, before you just up and leave, because you may miss this category, to just kind of run through this list and practice it and seek counseling, because the counselor, if you tell them what you've done and what's been said, many times the therapist at that point can help guide you that, yeah, this is something else. This is not, I know it feels like abuse, but it's something else going on underneath, and you may want to reconsider. Okay, the first one, you have to recognize that it is a problem. It's a behavior that is maladaptive to a healthy relationship. So no matter what, you can't lie about it. You can't be blind. You've got to confront it up front. Number two, you have to communicate your needs. Use I statements, because that's going to help your partner be less defensive, and they may open up easier and be more vulnerable if they feel you're not blaming them. Number three, seek support from people who are healthy and closest to you. Many times, other people who are close to you see things in the relationship that you don't. And so if you can choose one or two, maybe a family member, maybe a parent, maybe a really close friend to confide in, they may be able to give you resources or ideas of what they have seen with your partner to kind of help fill the puzzle in, kind of help you find the missing pieces before you talk to a therapist. Number four, set boundaries. You need to have boundaries. You need to say, this is not okay for me. I feel unloved. I feel unprotected. I feel like I am a roommate and not your significant other. When you're able to say these things as a way of setting boundaries, like we need to go see someone or I need to leave this relationship, that is perfectly okay. You're not being controlling. You're not saying, tit for tat. You're saying, my needs dictate that we need a professional. And if you are unwilling to do that with me, then I am going to go. And then from that therapist's point of view, I am going to take their advice with whatever they follow. If you're with me, it's probably going to work better for the salvaging our relationship, so we can at least give our relationship a fighting chance. Next, take care of yourself. It's so important that you continue to take care of yourself. Don't let your partners voiding any kind of affection or sexuality make you feel bad about who you are. It's not saying you're not attractive. It's not saying you've done something wrong. And if they are, that's more classic of abuse. What's important is that you value yourself enough to eat well, to sleep well, to work out, to do the things you know that are taking care of you. Next, it's really important that you talk to a professional. I would talk to a professional as a part of my own self-care. This is personally an important part of your self-care, and I think not only that, if you want to give the relationship a chance or just needing guidance how to leave the relationship, it's a good idea to get the clarity of a therapist. Next, I think it's important that you educate yourself about what's going on, kind of start reading, looking at more YouTubes about relationships, reading more blogs about relationships, if there's trust issues, whatever that is. The therapist will help educate you, but it's also important that you do some work on your own. Maybe even sign you guys up for a couples retreat. There's numerous couples retreats. And if your partner likes that idea, more than going to one-on-one counseling, you can do the retreat as well as the counseling. I think it's important too that if you have a faith and you practice your faith, that you talk to an elder within your church about what's going on. Many times they have great ideas for retreats. Everybody has problems in their relationships from time to time, but it's important you can discern what's abusive, when is it time to let go, and is this something that as my partner's significant other, I should help them work out? Is it a past perpetration of someone taking advantage of them that they weren't able to resolve? And maybe the two of us could help them face that and bravely resolve it together. Lastly, it's important that you prioritize your own mental health. If this is making you so stressed, so your life so chaotic, causing problems with your children, then it's important that you do leave this relationship, even if it's with a separation. Once again, that's the advantage of having a therapist. They're going to help guide you. They're going to help set that up, take you through some easy steps so that at a time when things seem confusing and just muddled, you will have clarity of an objective party who can help you, guide you, and so you won't necessarily throw a relationship away that had a chance to make it, but rather you're going to keep yourself and any child you have safe. And that's what's most important in a healthy relationship.